I feel like I've had enough change in the last week to last me like a year. And I just realized there's some built-in shelving in there. This is like the only thing that they left that was like outdated looking. If you've never bought a house before, then you might not know this, but they... Hello friends, welcome to the house tour and a crazy, insane story of how we even got it, because I really thought I was gonna lose it. If you guys saw my video, did I make a whole video about it? I think I did. This is the house. We're gonna give an empty house tour, a very echoey house tour. I don't really know how well I'm gonna be able to fix the echoiness in post, but we'll see what I can do. So we closed on this house, I say we because boyfriend and I, like last week. And we have a couple of weeks left at our apartment, so we have not moved in. And so I thought I would do a little empty house tour because I love watching these kinds of videos on YouTube. We did buy a little bit out in the country, you could say, but it's only 12 minutes to the nearest grocery store, so it's not too bad. We also have the highway, like not too far away. So it is a 3-bed, 2-bath, which is exactly what we were looking for. It is from the 1960s, but it is completely renovated. They completely redid what it looks like is maybe fresh drywall. I'm not totally sure. Basically, all the rooms are just empty white boxes. We are working from a completely blank slate. It's an empty canvas for me to do whatever I want to do with. Boyfriend said he gets the backyard and I get the entire house in terms of like decorating and what we want to do. So let's do it. This is the living room, by the way. And then we have this little dining nook area. It's literally just a corner by the back door where I'm going to do like banquet kind of seating because there is no separate dining room, which is perfectly fine. We don't really need a whole separate space, but this will be really cute. I've seen a lot of really cute pictures on Pinterest that I'm gonna try to recreate, of course. And then we have the kitchen. It's like a galley style kitchen. They just went in and painted everything white, or actually it's like a really light gray called Drift of Mist. Everything is new, cabinets are all new, the oven is new. And then a skinny little hallway, which is pretty typical, I think, for older houses. We think this was originally actually a 2-bed, 1-bath. And the master was sort of added on. So we have this tiny little room that will probably be the sort of gym, home gym, which basically means it'll be the room that houses the treadmill. And then the main bathroom, a like 2-in-1 tub and shower situation. And then we have what will be the office, which is the other front room. They all have closets, all the same size. This one actually has 2 windows, which is really nice. I think it's going to get a lot of light in here. This could in the future potentially be like a kid's bedroom, but it's definitely going to be an office for us. And then the master, which is the biggest room. Again, I think possibly an add-on. We have his and hers closets, and I just realized there's some built-in shelving in there, which is nice. And then this is like the only thing that they left that was like outdated looking is this little shower insert thing. Or at least the color kind of looks outdated, but they've really done a nice job with the fixtures and stuff in here. It's all very modern. It's kind of like the typical stuff that you see when people flip houses. That's pretty much it other than the backyard. And the patio and the garage. And there's a little bit of a front porch. But that's kind of it. It's not huge. I don't even know what the square footage is off the top of my head. I don't remember. We are very excited. We have a couple of weeks left. I think I mentioned this at our apartment. So we've basically been coming over here almost every single day to do little projects. And I kind of it's annoying having to pay for a couple of weeks of an apartment. But instead of us having to like rush out and move all in one day, we're basically going to be bringing over small loads every time we come over here to like do a different project or whatever. So I'm excited about it. Now, the reason why I may not seem like over the moon is because I lost my job a week before we were supposed to close on this house. And I for sure thought that I was going to lose the house, because if you've never bought a house before, then you might not know this, but they call your place of employment the day of. like the morning before you close, before you're supposed to sign like the 1,000,001 papers, because they have to make sure, you know, that you're employed and you can make the payments, because that's how it works. And luckily, I am still on the payroll until the end of the month. And so when they called, instead of saying, no, she's been laid off, like hundreds of other people, they were like, yeah, she's still on the payroll. So they said yes to the question that we needed them to say yes to. So here we are. But that is maybe why I've had a lot of family and friends be like,
you don't seem very excited.
Because I'm just like, I did the thing where like you don't think you're going to get the thing that you really want. And so you start emotionally letting it go so that the blow isn't as rough when you lose it. But then we ended up getting it. So then it was like, oh, that's like the best case scenario. But it was like, do you know what I mean? I don't know if that makes any sense. I'll show you outside real quick because it's really cute. I'm looking at my neighbor's chickens. We're definitely going to do a chicken coop in the backyard. It's so cute. We have a wonderful patio that is just lovely and a cute little backyard. And I'm very excited. There's gonna be a lot of things we can do out here. That backyard was a huge selling point for us because my boyfriend was like, you know, he doesn't really even care about the house. When we were looking at listings, he would literally scroll past all the photos of the house in order to get to the backyard photos. But we do have a lot of plans for the future. Like I said, chicken coop, he's got the in-ground trampoline. We're gonna do a fire pit. We wanna do a greenhouse, not totally sure how big. We know nothing. Like, this is our first home. We don't know. We don't really know how to take care of a home other than Googling when things go wrong or like calling people that we know, like our parents and stuff. But yeah, this was it. They did a really good job on the renovation. My realtor was very good about, he's the type of realtor, and this is the kind of realtor you want, where they don't necessarily walk through a house and go,
oh my gosh, like look how cute, or look how, you know, well they did on this, or just imagine, you know, having breakfast here or whatever.
He goes through and picks apart everything so that we know what might need to be fixed, because that's a big sort of like hidden cost of home ownership. You always hear about this when you watch, like, or at least I watch a lot of like, you know, first time home buyer types of videos, financial advice type of videos. And that's something that always comes up, is people don't realize how expensive it can be just to upkeep a home. Like, that's one of the great things about renting, is you don't have to worry about anything. Renting is not a total waste of money, like people like to say it is, because you don't have to worry about any of the upkeep. I can't even believe that I'm standing here. Like, I've been visualizing it and manifesting it. We've been praying for it, et cetera, but it is kind of crazy that it actually happened. Like, we just didn't actually expect it to go through. When I got that news, it's like literally the worst news that you can get before you go to close on a house. I have lots of plans, of course. I've got all sorts of mood boards. I've been on Pinterest for like months, all throughout the house hunting process. And now that I finally have like measurements for the space, and I was going around with a little clipboard when we first got the keys, like measuring everything. We do have quite a few things that I have ordered and are on the way. We have some Adirondack chairs. That was the first thing that I ordered, and they have actually arrived, which is awesome. They're sitting out in the garage. We have 4 of them for the fire pit. We've ordered just all sorts of things. We're buying things that we didn't have the opportunity to buy before or use before because we didn't have a yard. We've gotten so many like things for the yard, like a new hose and like some hanging baskets and just all the things that we wouldn't have had or needed necessarily at the apartment. I'm still kind of in shock. I feel like I was telling my mom this, I feel like I've had enough change in the last week to last me like a year. It's a lot. It's a lot getting laid off and then having to start the job hunting process right after finishing the house hunting process, and then not knowing for like a full week, like 7 days of just constantly thinking about whether or not I'm even going to be able to close on the house. Like, it's been pretty stressful. I mean, first world problems. It was a fairly stressful situation. So I'm very excited. I will do a whole video on maybe my design process, my thoughts. We're very much kind of like in the beginning stages. Like, we just basically got the keys and then we come over here to do, little projects as time allows. So thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more house interior design type of content. And I will see you next time. Bye guys.